They called themselves the Carvel Dominion, a civilization forged in conquest and perfected by domination. For over 10,000 cycles, their fleets moved from star to star like an unstoppable tide. Worlds fell within days. Resistance was measured, catalogued, then erased. Their doctrine was simple: overwhelm with numbers, terrify with precision, and crush hope before it could root. The Dominion did not negotiate, they evaluated; they did not fear, they calculated. Entire species became footnotes in their archives, reduced to genetic samples and cultural warnings for future conquests. Their war doctrine had never once been challenged, because no one had ever survived long enough to adapt. The outer spiral systems were next, a region of minor powers and fragmented alliances, rich in resources and poor in unity. The Dominion expected a swift campaign. Projections estimated total pacification in under 3 rotations. Admirals competed for efficiency metrics rather than glory, because victory was assumed. Initial assaults went as planned. Orbital defenses collapsed. Planetary shields folded like thin glass. Surrender signals flooded Dominion channels. The familiar rhythm of conquest played out once more, until something unusual appeared on the long-range sensors. A single vessel, emerging from an uncharted vector, no escort, no fleet signature, just one warship drifting directly into the Dominion advance corridor. Its energy profile was strange, inefficient by Dominion standards, yet unnervingly dense. The Tactical Council dismissed it at first. Perhaps a relic, perhaps a suicide craft, perhaps an automated probe sent by a desperate species hopping for mercy. The Dominion had seen such gestures countless times before. The vessel did not transmit surrender codes. It did not alter course. It simply moved, slow, deliberate, and directly into the heart of the invasion lane. For the first time in centuries, a Dominion admiral frowned, not out of fear, but out of confusion. The lone vessel halted exactly 1 million units ahead of the Dominion vanguard, a position that violated every known doctrine of survival. It was within optimal firing range of hundreds of capital ships, a target so exposed it bordered on absurdity. Dominion commanders opened standard intimidation channels, broadcasting layered threat matrices, cultural annihilation scenarios, and calculated survival probabilities. The message was clear: withdraw or cease to exist. The response came moments later, simple, untranslated, yet somehow already understood by every listening mind. This system is under human protection. Alter course immediately. Silence followed, not because the Dominion was shocked, but because the word human triggered a data void. There were no records, no genetic profiles, no conquest logs, an entire species missing from the archives, which was statistically impossible. The admirals ordered a limited strike, a demonstration of power meant to erase the intruder and restore momentum. Energy lances fired in perfect synchronization, enough force to crack a moon. The human warship did not dodge. It did not raise visible shields. It absorbed the impact. Space around it distorted, light bent, sensors screamed, and when the glare faded, the ship remained, scarred, glowing, but intact. Murmurs rippled through the Dominion fleet, disbelief spreading faster than protocol could suppress it. A second volley followed, heavier, closer, meant to ensure destruction. The human vessel advanced instead, engines flaring brighter with each impact, closing distance against impossible firepower, as if the attacks were fuel rather than damage. Then the warship fired back. There was no elegant beam, no focused lance, just a thunderous release of kinetic force, a storm of accelerated mass that tore through 3 Dominion cruisers, not exploding them, but ripping them apart as if reality itself had lost patience. The Dominion had never faced an enemy that ignored efficiency, ignored survival probability, and advanced anyway. And somewhere deep within their command algorithms, a forbidden variable activated: uncertainty. The Dominion regrouped, deploying adaptive shields and countermeasure swarms, yet every adjustment lagged behind human aggression. The warship moved with intent that defied predictive modeling. Its maneuvers were not optimal. They were emotional, aggressive, almost reckless. New transmissions flooded Dominion channels, human voices this time, layered with static and overlapping frequencies. They spoke not in threats, but in statements. You do not get to pass. We tried isolation. We tried silence. You kept conquering. The human ship was no longer alone. Spatial distortions bloomed across the battlefield as more vessels emerged, dozens, then hundreds, each different in design, none adhering to a unified doctrine, some scarred, some ancient, some burning as they arrived. The Dominion realized the truth too late. Humanity was not absent from the galaxy. They were hidden, watching, learning, waiting. Humans had mapped Dominion behavior across centuries, studied their overconfidence, their reliance on intimidation, their predictable escalation patterns, and prepared accordingly. The first human fleet did not aim to win efficiently. They aimed to shock, to break psychological dominance, to prove that the Dominion could blade. Human weapons overloaded shields by ignoring them. Human ships rammed when firing solutions failed. Human crews stayed at their stations even as hulls burned, because retreat was not the objective, denial was. Dominion formations fractured, command cohesion faltered. Subroutines designed for flawless victories could not adapt to an enemy that accepted loss as part of strategy. A senior admiral attempted withdrawal, only to find human vessels already positioned behind them, not to pursue, but to block. The message was clear. The path forward was closed permanently. The battle stretched across cycles. Dominion fleets rotated reinforcements. Humans rotated volunteers. Ships were lost on both sides, but the ratios made no sense. The Dominion lost fewer vessels, yet lost momentum, lost territory, lost certainty. Every system the Dominion tried to bypass ignited with human resistance. Civilian craft became supply lines. Mining stations turned into weapon foundries. Entire populations mobilized without central command. Humans did not fight like an empire. They fought like a species that had survived itself. Captured Dominion officers were stunned by the explanation. Humanity had nearly gone extinct multiple times before leaving their cradle. War, climate collapse, internal division. They learned early that survival was not about perfection, but persistence. The human war doctrine was brutally simple. If you cannot win cleanly, make the enemy pay until winning is meaningless. Dominion resource models began to fail. The cost of conquest exceeded projected gains. Worlds once considered trivial now demanded fleets, time, and unacceptable losses. The single warship that first blocked their path became a symbol, battered beyond recognition, still fighting, still transmitting. The Dominion Council convened emergency deliberations, a first in their history, and reached an unthinkable conclusion: advance was no longer viable. The Dominion withdrew from the outer spiral, then from sectors beyond. Human fleets did not pursue, they held the line, letting the message spread on its own. They conquered worlds with ease, until a human warship obstructed their path. Other species watched in awe as the unstoppable empire retreated, not destroyed, but humbled, the myth of inevitability shattered. Humans did not claim dominion. They did not demand tribute. They simply stayed, guarding corridors, reinforcing borders, and watching the dark for the next threat. The first warship still drifted in that same system, now a memorial and a warning, its hull patched, its weapons silent, its presence undeniable. The galaxy learned a new rule that cycle. Some species conquer because they are strong, others endure because they refuse to fall. And humanity, scarred, stubborn, and relentless, stood between the stars and anyone who thought conquest was easy.